Church, I had a few thoughts to share with you today, and it has to do with hands. So I want you to look at your hands just for a minute, because there's a lot of hand talk going on. We're hearing so much about wash your hands and how many times a day you should wash them. And for 20 seconds, as long as you can sing happy birthday. And then, the gloves that are everywhere, people wearing them for safety. And then, how you touch another. I mean, just keep your hands to yourself, basically, 6 feet apart. Have you ever thought about what your own hands do in a single day? All the things they do. In a single hour even. Have you ever thought about the power of hands to encourage and share love and support? Have you ever thought about how hands play a role at so many critical times in our lives, key moments in relationships, like newborn parents in their tender touch when they receive that infant into their hands? Or a couple that is exchanging wedding vows. They face one another and they join hands and make their promises. Or holding the hand of one you deeply love as you send them off to eternity. I know there's a family story about hands that we've always laughed about. When one of my sisters was just a toddler, we were at the beach, and Mom had one hand and Dad had her other hand, and they were walking into the water. And Mom and Dad were just talking away and not looking at her and looking at themselves. And all of a sudden they felt this jerk and a gurgle, and they looked down and they walked her right into the water over her head. Of course, they yanked her right back up, and those hands saved her. It made me think of a Bruce Springsteen song that he and his wife sing to each other, and the lyrics say this: "We said we'd walk together come what may. So if, as we're walking, a hand should slip free, I'll wait for you. And should I fall behind, wait for me." Again, the power of hands. I thought about that in terms of God and the hand of God, because that phrase, hand of God, is in the Bible a lot. So I Googled it, and you won't believe how many times. Guess. 1,265 times the hand of God. That phrase is used, and it's a metaphor for the presence and the power of God. So let me just share with you a few of the broad ways the hand of God is used. The Bible talks about the hand of God in creation. God creates by his hand. God holds the world in his hand. God holds his people in the palm of his hand. God's creatures are fed by his hand. All of those images of God's creative hand. And God's hand symbolizes his power. God's hand is mighty. God's hand holds a cup of justice. God's hand brings trouble. God's hand brings fear. God's hand is powerful. And then God's powerful hand is used on behalf of his people. The hand of God is spoken of in many ways in how he cares for us. God redeems by his powerful hand. God redeemed the people of Israel by his powerful hand. God's powerful hand is invincible. God's hand fulfills his purposes. God's hand signifies his promises by taking an oath. What got me thinking about this was this morning when I was having my own private devotional and prayer time, I came across a verse from Psalm 37. And it struck me that during these odd times, these are important words about the hand of God. A person's steps are made secure by the Lord when they delight in his way. Though they trip up, they won't be thrown down because the Lord holds their hand. My dear friends, whatever's happening in your life right now, trust that God is holding your hand. He has you and the ones you love in the very palm of his hand. I miss you and love you all. Take care.